All right, it's now time for the Star Goddess podcast and the Crash and AJ page at 98rock.com. We do this every Monday. Good morning, ladies.
Yay!
Good morning.
Happy
Yay,
Monday. I hope it'll be happy. What you got in store for us this week, Janet? Please give us some good news.
I think it should be good news, actually, for Tauruses, to tell you the truth, the sign that we're in. Because Mercury, the planet of communication, has gone and left the sign of Aries, where it's been for the last 30 days or so, which is just not a cool sign for Taurus. It's behind their sign. They don't have any, they just don't have a whole lot of energy or wherewithal. Well, Mercury goes into their sign today. And you are going to pretty much have to rip their fingernails out to get them to stop talking. It loosens their tongue. It frees them up to say exactly what they think, exactly what they feel. It's the first time Mercury has been in Taurus in a year. So for them, in so many ways, it's a lot of new starts. And these are things that they probably, ideas that they thought about last week, because last week was the new moon in their sign. And so it was a matter of, let's think about new things we want to do and maybe make some changes in our life. And there are things in our life that's not really working the way we want them to. And I'm going to think about what I want to do with this. And Mercury goes into their sign today, and it's like, okay, time to pull the trigger. Whatever it is, it's time to get it going. Whatever the thing you decided, last week, over this last week or so, it's time to just go forward with it and really not look back in a lot of ways. And for Tauruses, it's very hard for them to do because they don't quit even when they should. A Taurus will stay in something. They just don't. That's their thing, is we don't quit. They never surrender.
No.
They never quit.
Hell no. I'm very stubborn. Hence the stubbornness, and just,
But
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But every now and then the universe is going, time to give it a rest. And the hardest thing to realize is that because for them, it's a matter of they don't want to quit instead of acknowledging that something simply is not working for them. And if they would kind of let it go, the beauty of Mercury being in their sign is the promise that I'm going to bring something to you that's going to be more appropriate for you, that's going to have a better chance of making you, the Taurus, get your wants and your needs met according to however it is you define that. So that's really not a bad thing for Tauruses at all. It loosens their tongue. And so if you've been waiting to hear an answer from a Taurus, boy, you're going to get it.
All right. I'll
not
take
a bad
it.
thing.
I'll take it. Please hook a sister up.
Yes. For Geminis, this is very difficult energy for Geminis. And for Geminis, Mercury, when it's behind their sign, they say one thing and they get misinterpreted, that they meant one thing and yet what they said was something different. And the best thing Geminis can do for the next 3 weeks or so is sort of zip their lip. They're going to have the right to remain silent. They're just not going to be able to do it. And the thing that's so bad when Mercury is behind your sign is other people don't do you in. You do yourself in. It's your own words that you end up coming back having to eat or being used against you or held against you one way or the other. So for Geminis everywhere, the next 2 weeks are going to be very challenging energy for them. And the best thing they can say to any suggestion is, I will take that under advisement, is the best thing, rather than trying to get pinned down to having to take a course of action. So, and the other thing is Geminis everywhere find out who their secret enemies are. And a lot of times these are going to be people they thought were their friends. They turn out that that's the guy holding the knife. So, and the only good thing you can say about that is at least you will know who is with you and who is against you.
Well, hopefully
that's the best thing I can say about that.
Hopefully that's not somebody that's in the house with them quarantining and.
Oh my God! Right?
God, man! I feel like out of all the signs this past year, Geminis have had a really go rough of it. I feel like there's been like a lot of.
They have not had. Yep, they have not had an easy time of it. They really have not, and I feel bad for them. All you got to do is kind of look at the President of the United States and go, yeah, there's a Gemini having a bit of a challenge with this stuff. So. For Cancers, the United States is a Cancer. Mercury is in our 11th house of hopes, wishes, goals, and objectives. And I think the entire country is sort of ready to get back to work. They're ready to go back and do things. I don't know that they're going to be able to, but I think that you're going to start to see a lot of that going on. A lot of the let's achieve a longstanding goal or objective. And I think that Cancers everywhere are going to find that they get the help of their well-placed friends and colleagues will help them get what it is that they want. For Leos, you ask inquisitively, Mercury is at the top of their chart. It's in their 10th house of career and public standing. And for them, they've been plotting and planning what it is they want to do over the last 30 days or so. They've kind of put new things in motion. They're not exactly sure how it's going to play in Peoria. And over the next 3 weeks or so, they find out how that works for them, whether it does or whether it doesn't. And so their focus is going to be on their career and their public standing. And any effort that they make is likely to pay off for them.
Wow.
They may encounter some resistance from partners who are not going to want to see any kind of changes, but these changes are good for the Leo, and the changes are actually really good for the partner. And the partner should not be afraid of that.
All right.
The partner should actually embrace that sort of change. It's sort of an expansion.
I'm just kind of
rather
scanning.
than
I'm kind of scanning my life right now to see where this applies to Janet. I love when I get these new these little morsels from you. I'm just going, where does this apply to me?
Right? Is it going to be more of the musical sector? I mean, you were talking about how you're working on a new song.
I am. I've got a song I'm working on right now, and the music thing's really been for me one of the things I lean on whenever I really want to free my mind a little bit. So I definitely like that.
Yeah, that's a very cool thing. That's a very cool thing. I don't know that you can turn it into quitting your day job.
Oh,
I'm
so
not sure you want to do
I'm
that.
not going on tour then? This is
No.
We're going tour of mornings right here in Tampa Bay on the Mighty 98 Rock.
Yes. It's that kind of a thing. And I think that may be what partners are kind of concerned about. It's like, whoa, don't abandon what's really already working.
All right,
This is like an added value thing.
Okay, I'll look at other parts of my life then. I'll scan the other parts then.
For Virgos, Virgos have sort of been staying sort of unsung heroes in all of this coronavirus thing because the medical field is ruled by Virgo. But they are about to get very, very articulate, very, very open, and communicate much more effectively. For Virgos, there are contracts, negotiations, deals to be struck. And I got to tell a Virgo, the law is on your side. And when the law is on your side, Virgo, you want to go ahead and use it. And I think that overall, nurses, doctors, first responders, all of those guys are going to be paid a lot more in the future than they've been paid in the past because they can shake out a pretty good deal for themselves because people now really, truly realize how valuable someone is who makes the trains run on time, who gets things done. I think teachers, fall into that category. So, but for Virgos, and there's a little bit of long-distance travel in store for the Virgo. I'm not quite sure how that could be because I'm really not ready to get on an airplane yet. But I do think there's stuff, although wouldn't be very crowded, kind of like that. But I think that there's some sort of contract or negotiation is going to come up over the next 30 days or so that ends up being very, very profitable for the Virgo and works out very, very well for the Virgo. For Libras, once again, trying to figure out how they can capitalize on this. How can they make money doing this? And they've had some sort of ideas over the last maybe 10 days or so about what they would be able to do to make more money or to maximize an existing resource or capitalize on an existing resource. And they get that opportunity over the next 3 weeks to turn what started out as an idea into a reality. And I want them to be cautious because sometimes it takes money to make money, but don't pour too much money into this right away. You may want to start out with a little bit and then, figure out where to go from there. But I do think that there's a good opportunity over the next 30 days or so for Libra to either benefit from other people's resources or maximize existing resources one way or the other. For Scorpios, this is tough energy. You asked earlier, who's going to have the roughest time? I think Aquarians and Scorpios are going to have the roughest time with this energy because Mercury is opposing their sign. So partners, whatever the Scorpio proposes, partners are going to go, no. Because that's their first word is no, we don't want to.
Janet, when you say opposing, to people that are just joining us, when you say a Mercury is opposing their sign, if you're looking at that, what does that look like?
The Mercury is 180 degrees away from the position that the sun is in. That's the nature of an opposition. And the nature of an opposition is literally butting heads head on. The energy hits head on.
Gotcha.
And both of them are fixed signs, meaning don't confuse me with the facts. My mind is made up. And so when you have a conflict with what you want to do and what your partner wants you to do, neither one is known to be budging, which is what makes it such a challenge, this energy. So,
okay.
And that's why I think that and then Mars on the other side is squaring that energy at home. And all the signs, I think Scorpio's got to probably be the hardest one to live with out of all of them. So I think that there are tensions that are building within Scorpios, and if anybody needs to be let out of prison, it's the Scorpio. They need to find a way to burn off some of that energy. Either that or they need to listen to what their partner's saying and go, part of that is true. So I think out of all of them, they have the biggest challenge with this Mercury in Taurus and the sun being in Taurus. And usually when all of that happens, is people pointing you going, you, like you're the problem. So if enough people say that to the Scorpio, if like one person goes, I go, yeah, well, maybe not. 2 or 3 people say the same thing, I'd have to take a step back and go, perhaps I need to consider this a little more. That's what Scorpio is going to need to do, but that doesn't mean they're going to do it. For Sagittarians, this energy is about how can I do more work? How can I improve my job situation? Something for the Sagittarian changes over the next 3 weeks regarding their work situation. I don't think it's like a promotion to the corner office or anything like that. This looks more like a better work environment with a better circumstance, and quite honestly, some obstacle that had been in the Sagittarian's way gets out of the Sagittarian's way, and the Sagittarian has a much clearer path to do their job to the very best of their ability. Again, it's not like the promotion to the corner office, but it's a much better working environment for the Sagittarian. And with your rising sign being Sagittarius, Crash, it'd be like the music thing would be an additional other duty or another job you can do while you're doing your main job.
Awesome. Maybe selling some music
to
some rising pop star or something like that.
There you
go.
Yeah.
Riding off in the sunset.
That would be the thing to do, sell it to someone. Yes. So for Capricorns, again, this is the most fertile time of all for Capricorns.
Ooh.
It is in every sense of the word. Capricorns just want to have fun. They've had Saturn in their sign for the last year and a half. And with Mercury going into their 5th house of love affairs, children, sports, amusements, pleasures, anything entertaining, anything that's fun, anything that involves their creativity, they are all about. And speaking of that, I'm thinking that this afternoon when Mercury goes into Taurus about 1:30 is right about the time that Jameis finds out that he's now a saint. You know, and I got to say, that's a good move for him because he's a Capricorn, his new coach is a Capricorn, and the quarterback he's going to be learning under is a Capricorn. So for Capricorns everywhere, this is a very fun time. It's a very good time. If anybody's enjoying this stay-at-home quarantine thing, it's the Capricorn.
Janet,
because for them.
You mentioned that all 3 of those, Drew Brees is a Capricorn. The coach of the Saints,
Sean Payton is a Capricorn, and Jameis. Yeah.
It almost seems as though they would be looking for that, but that's just by chance. Is that attraction? Is that how's that happen? Do you see that a lot?
We actually, I do see that a lot. That's one of the things I look at when you're picking a team. Is to see how they're going to get along with your coach, or how they're going to get along with the person that's making the decisions in their life. And I don't think they go, let me go find a Capricorn. They just go, I really like that guy. There's something about that guy's energy I really like because it reminds them of them.
Gotcha.
George Steinbrenner did it with Derek Jeter, became his quarterback franchise. Tom Brady did it originally with Bill Belichick, where Tom Brady's a Leo with the moon in Aries. Belichick was an Aries with the moon in Leo. And now Tom Brady, and even with Tom Brady and Gronkowski. Yeah, they're a Leo and a Taurus, but Gronkowski's got a moon in Leo. So he is innately in tune with Tom Brady, and you see that. I see that even with, where did Tua go? Did he go to Miami?
Yeah, Miami.
Yep.
Okay. I think that head coach is a Pisces, and Tua's, I think moon sign might be Pisces. That you find that you do that. It's crazy to me. It's crazy when I see stuff like that.
Interesting.
And I know that they're not going, let me find, somebody that's just like me, but we like us and we pick people that are similar to us. I just think that's crazy when I see stuff like that developing.
Totally.
And I think, man, I couldn't make that up. For Aquarians, this energy is in their 4th house of home. And like I mentioned earlier, Aquarians and Scorpios are going to have the hardest time with Mercury being in Taurus because Mars is in their sign. Aquarians are really fired up and they want to get a lot of stuff going and they want to do a whole bunch of stuff. And the challenge with that is they cannot at this time. So it's very frustrating because they want to put new stuff into motion and they're trapped sort of at home. So if anybody's likely to have a difficult time with this energy, it is the Aquarian. And I don't have any good advice on how you handle that energy. I don't know, maybe go for long walks or something. I'm not sure. But the next 3 weeks are going to be rather challenging for Aquarians because Mars is in their sign. They're fired up. They want to act, and their hands are tied behind their back, which is always frustrating for them. For Pisces, this energy is in the 3rd house of day-to-day living. Pisces are really not having a difficult time with this. for them, this is a good opportunity for Pisces to learn something very useful about their world, very practical about their world, to take some sort of class or some sort of continuing education. A lot of Pisces are looking around their jobs going, that job paid me just enough money to survive, not enough money to really do a good job with. While I'm not doing anything, while I've got, decent unemployment going, I'm going to investigate other things that may require additional education, not necessarily like a PhD or a master's degree, but some sort of certificate program or some sort of course that they can do, that they can end up making more money when they do go back to work, which would not be a bad thing for them. And there are so many free courses online now that it's a sin not to take advantage of it, to me. So, but I think the pace of their living picks up as the result, which is not a bad thing. And I think they're doing okay with online learning. Like, I'm good with this. I get to avoid the bullies and still get to learn. Where's the downside to that? So for Aries, the last sign, they are dealing with real estate, financial, property matters. They are trying to, I think a lot of Aries got their stimulus checks and putting fences up and, putting money back into their property rather than just paying rent or mortgage. I think that any time you put money into real estate, it's going to come back to you. But Taurus rules real estate. Aries is their second house of money. So Aries are trying really hard to make more money. That's their big goal for the next 3 weeks or so. And it's not going to be money falling out of the sky on them. It's going to be them through the fruits of their own labor, making more money. So tomorrow's news today for the 12 signs of the zodiac. I'm pretty optimistic. We go back to work May 11th.
Awesome.
Is my new prediction. It's not my new prediction. It's my old prediction. It's the same one though.
So,
but I think that's what.
So I broke out the Fender Play app for a couple of my family members and showed them, and I wanted to see who's going to be receptive to that and taking advantage of maybe playing guitar or something like that. Is there a sign right now, Janet, that would be receptive to taking like an online guitar class?
Yeah, Pisces would be very receptive to that. Who else would be receptive? Tauruses would be receptive to that. Let me see. Leos would be very receptive to that.
Yes, because that's
and Virgos would be.
I was trying to, my girlfriend, she's decided to pick up, the guitar and start the Fender out. Now, my son, on the other hand, he looks like he might be a little interested in it, but if I suggest it to him for some reason, he'll want to go in the opposite direction. So
right.
A different messenger or something to him.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And it's a tough choice to see who gets more girls, the lead player, the lead guitarist in a band, or, the quarterback. I think they both do pretty well with that, though. Either one, you can't go wrong.
Hey, thank you very much, Star Goddess, every Monday right here for the Star Goddess podcast and the Crash and AJ blog at 98rock.com.